everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Spotlight on Success. And today we are shining the spotlight on LaTersa Blakely. So LaTersa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here today, and I'm thrilled about the topic. We are going to be talking about how women can basically manage the busyness of their lives without losing their sense of style. So I love that. And before we jump in, let me give everybody a little bit of background on you. LaTersa Blakely is founder of Moms Wearing Multiple Hats, and she's also owner of Baby Diaper Cakes and Beyond by LaTersa. She is obviously a busy entrepreneur, and she teaches busy working moms how to balance motherhood and career. She is a woman of God, wife, author, entrepreneur, and mother of 2 beautiful children. So LaTersa, so glad to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so excited about the title of your show episode today, which is Wearing Multiple Hats with Style. And you had mentioned that one of the common challenges working moms face is that the struggle of raising their children and feeling like they're doing a phenomenal job doing that, as well as running the day-to-day operations of a thriving business, and how tricky that can be, and how I'm sure that there's a lot of guilt that plays in there that you're doing, one better than the other, and how do you find that balance? And so what we're going to talk about today, which is great, are the strategies that mom entrepreneurs can start to use to really achieve that successful balance in their life. So for the mom entrepreneur, what is the biggest challenge that she faces when she is trying to balance the work life and the family life?
I think one of the biggest challenges, and I know I can speak for myself as well, when I first started the business, it was so hard for me to juggle the two. It was like I didn't know how to actually put a specific time into my business and then put a specific time into doing household chores. It all just was, it's there staring you in the face right together. You either can do one or the other, or you could do more on this one and then one lack. So it's all about balance. And this may not be for everybody. So when you get that balance and you find a system that works for you, run with it. And that's exactly what I did, because I thought I was about to lose my mind at the beginning. I was like, Mom, what did I do? What did I get myself into? Because a lot of people think because you're a work at home mom that you're just on the couch. That is so totally not true. You have so much more responsibility when you're a work at home mom than if you was in a 9 to 5, because again, all of your work is staring you in the face. You have laundry, you got dishes, you got to get the kids together. If they're in school, you got homework, you got to cook dinner. Then you got to find a place to really build your business. And when you're building your business, that's a lot of work to get it off the ground.
Yes.
So don't let people fool you by, oh, you can build a business overnight and you can make millions by tomorrow, 24 hours. Don't believe the hype. It's not true.
And I do think that a big mistake that a lot of women wannabe entrepreneurs miss, like the big thing that they miss when they're thinking about, oh, I could do this, I could work from home and it's going to give me so much great flexibility, which it does. But when they're used to being in that 9 to 5 environment as an employee for someone else, there were other people in that company who were taking care of, fielding the calls, or, the payroll part of it, or, all those aspects that come with running your own show. Now you're in charge of absolutely everything. And I think that's where women kind of really need to grasp that there's a huge responsibility, and there's many more moving parts involved with running your business yourself.
Yes, it truly is.
So LaTersa, what are the top 2 strategies that you teach mom entrepreneurs to, really help them overcome this issue of the work-life balance?
I teach them, and I guess you're probably going to laugh at me, but this is my best friend. This is what I called a journal. Mm-hmm. You can get it in your local store, but one of my top best strategies I give all people that come to me, especially mom entrepreneurs, get yourself a to-do list. When you get that to-do list, you categorize it. I do personal, family, and business. You get those three, put your top priority at the top. So by the end of the day, if you don't get everything done, at least you know you've accomplished what has top priority. Once you get your to-do list, I do it every night before I go to bed. So when I wake up in the morning, come to my office, my list of what I got to do, all I have to do is start going down the list. Because if you don't have that, you'll be all over the place. Because you can have an emergency, your child may get sick at school, that'll throw your whole day off. You know, you can't always go by your list, but at least you have something to start with. That's number one. And number two is realize that you can't do it yourself. Everybody calls us superwoman. We can get it done, but superwoman need rest. You got to have time for yourself. If you're not pouring into yourself, you would do like I did a couple of weeks. I had a really big scare. I ended up in the emergency room.
Nice.
I collapsed in my bedroom. And that is something that you don't want to do. You want a vacation, but you don't want that kind of a vacation. You need to set aside every day. And I start putting on my calendar me time. That reminds me that I have to at least take 30 minutes to an hour or something, just me by myself, because as a mompreneur, you're so focused on taking care of everybody else, making sure your husband's fine, making sure the kids are fine. You just put yourself like, oh, I'll be okay. But that's not the case, because if you're drained, you don't have any energy, you're not healthy. You can make all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, you're not going to enjoy it. So putting me time on my calendar has really been my aha moment, because at first I was taking it lightly. Like, okay, I can get this done. I'll do this. Stand up all hours of the night trying to do work that I didn't get done during the day. But now my son is in kindergarten. My schedule's changed. Once he's home, I'm done. Whatever I didn't get done off the list, I don't feel guilty anymore. I always felt guilty when it was time to do something for myself, or if I want to take a day off. I felt guilty. And like a lot of moms do, they feel guilty when they want to do something that makes them happy. But you should be joyful about it, because again, if you're burnt out, you're no good to anybody.
Right.
So you got to put those two into your daily system. And I guarantee you, once you find that system that works for you and it's working, you'll be a happier person.
I love that.
That's what I had to do.
Because like you said, there's so many moving parts, and I love that you have the journal where you log everything. I think that when women can put it down on paper, it makes it real, it makes it tangible, and you also get that great sense of satisfaction when you go, shh, and you cross it off the list.
That's what I do every night after I shower. I go back to my book and I strike off. And it does. It gives you a sense that, you know what, I'm not just sitting at home. I'm making things happen behind the scenes. You may not see this big multi-million company now, but it's in the works. You're doing the behind the scene, because again, when mom entrepreneurs start their business, they're pretty much building it from scratch. They don't have, a lot of people don't have rich family members that invest in them. So you're pretty much building it with your own money. So it's going to be limited. You're not going to come in there rich. So you got to decide what's most important to you, and don't feel guilty or don't feel bad because you don't have all the answers. You're not supposed to. That's what it's called, networking. You find other people who've been where you are and you reach out to them, and I guarantee you somebody will be willing to help you, because again, you can't get to the next level by yourself. We're superwomen, that's what they call us, but superwomen still need some help.
That's right. No, I completely agree with that. And moving from that point, if they've got the structure in place, is that what gives them that sense of that mode of measuring their success when they can track it that way?
I would even say so much as far as to, it gives you a sense of achievements. Like you're not there yet, but you're on your way. And your notebook is kind of like a reminder to say, okay, if you went to a workshop today, you have that notebook, you jot down what you need. Later on, a couple of months from now, you may need some of that. So you can always go back. Whereas to if you're going day to day and you don't have anything written down, it's pretty much like you're just talking. Right. But when you make it plain, as the Bible said, make it plain, write it down, you can see the results on the paper that, you know what, I'm not at home just on the couch eating honey buns and watching soap operas. I'm not just doing that. I'm keeping my house clean. I'm balancing out work and motherhood, because again, a lot of times when new moms, women become new moms, they always looking for a way to stay home with their baby because they got that a sense of attachment and they don't want to let it go, because I know I did.
Yeah.
And then it's like for them to find something that they can actually do at home and bring an income in, that's like a relief to a lot of moms, because that's what they want to do. They don't want other people raising their kids. They want to have that sense of being a real mom, and that's what it's all about. But again, if you're not up for the work, if you're not up for the challenge, mom entrepreneur may not be for everybody, because again, you're going to pretty much be at home. You're going to be a little isolated because, again, you're at home all day until you go out on networking events. And a lot of people can't take that closed in. They can't take that. So it's a lot of things you have to put into play and think about before you jump out there and say, oh, I could work from home. I could do that. Of course. But have you thought about everything that goes into that? See, a lot of people look from the outside out. You know, you're not in here with me going through all through the day. Normally when I'm building a cake, my daughter is right here on my leg. Mommy, can you play tea party with me? Mommy, can you watch Barney with? You got to know how to incorporate break times, because again, your baby is going to holler. That's number one. So you got to realize that, okay, either you're going to take a break or you're going to let this hollering baby just keep hollering, and it's not going to get any better because they're going to win, because you're not going to want to hear all that. So I encourage you. I mean, I do vision boards. I keep everything positive surrounding me. I keep my family close by me, because when I'm working, I need that positive energy. I try to avoid all negativity, because again, when you're building a business, the last thing you need is a group of people who are negative.
Right.
You have to have that positive support system. That's my third extra one. You got to have it, because if not, you're gonna get to that point where it's like, oh, I can't do this. And then if you got that negativity around you, it's just going to make you want to quit even more, because you don't have anybody to push you. Be like, okay, Tersa, you can do this. Just, it's hard right now, but just think of the end result. But if you got all this negative energy around you, that's the quickest way to give up, because you're going to have those thoughts, because you're going to be like, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, everybody's going to have those tough days where
yeah,
really...
and you're going to have them. Don't let anybody tell you that you're going to have them.
Well, this has been great. So you gave us, let's just recap, you gave us the tip of really having the journal to provide that structure. Write down what your goals are, create that to-do list, and I loved your point about really putting the most important things at the top so that at least you get those done. Also using the journal to measure your success and really see what you've accomplished and where your business is going. The bonus one, have that support network around you, and I'm missing the second one, which was, and the one in the middle that I missed there was your categorization there of really breaking it down, compartmentalizing it to your family, your work, and your personal life. Oh, and the me time. That was the other one, the me time. Which
that's
is,
the most important one.
I shouldn't forget that. That's like my big thing that I should teach women. So yes, absolutely take your me time. Well, LaTersa, before we wrap up here, please tell us, for women to get more information and more tips from you, where can they go?
You can find me at momswearingmultiplehats.com, and on the link to the right of the sidebar, you can get 5 free tips on how to balance motherhood and work. So those are my gifts for you for allowing me to speak with you for a few moments today. You can get those free tips at my blog, and like I said, they will get you started. They will get you started. And I'm always giving tips on my blog, inspiration, sharing I have guest bloggers who blog about the same thing in a different aspect. So stop by and visit. I'd love to have you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that information with our viewers. Thank you for taking the time to be on our show today and teach us all about how to wear multiple hats with style. Thank you, LaTersa, and until
You're welcome.
next time,
Thank you again.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.